Hey guys, today in the detail garage we've got a dirty black Mustang. This is a GT350, which means it's a higher end model, which means it has more performance. So in here we want to make sure that it looks as good as it runs. But looking at it, you can see it's covered in dust, water spots, bird droppings, fingerprints, which is just going to dull up the whole look of this vehicle. Now the owner of this car, he lives in an apartment building and doesn't have access to a hose, so this thing has never been washed. I'm going to go ahead and take care of that by foaming it up. I'll wax it for him, glaze it, give that high shine, and then he'll have a brand new Mustang basically. So running down the side here, it's got bird droppings, water spots, fingerprints here, which are actually scratching the paint. You may not think so, but black shows everything. Any little particle on the paint, you touch it, it'll scratch and it'll show for the rest of its life unless you polish it. Also on the trunk over here, fingerprints all on the tailgate. This is also scratching the vehicle. I'm gonna go and take care of that just by washing it, and we'll wax it. So let's get started by foaming it. So what you wanna do before you start actually washing the vehicle is clean the rims, because on any vehicle, it's by far the dirtiest area. So what I'll do is I'll start by placing a dirt trap in our clean bucket of water over here. So what this does is it actually traps all the dirt that I'm pulling off from the rims with my tools, and it's gonna trap it underneath the cones, making sure that I don't have to bring any of the filthy water back onto the rim. So next I'll take my Diablo wheel cleaner here, add a couple ounces, and then I'll get that foaming with the hose here. So first things first, I want to go ahead and rinse off the rim just so I can knock off any loose debris. So this Mustang is fitted with a big brake kit. It tends to kick up a lot of brake dust. So in the bottle here, it's already been diluted 3:1, and this here is the duct foam sprayer, which aerates the product as I spray, giving it a nice foam over the whole rim here. The foam adds lubrication and it also helps take down all that set and brake dust without having to scrub too much. So next you want to take a brush that'll reach all the way to the back of the rim. So this here is the wheel woolly. It's a nice soft brush that's safe to clean off these matte rims, and it's also got a long handle that'll get all the way to the back of the rim, and it'll clean up real nicely on these Mustang rims. So I'm going to start by cleaning from top to bottom, just so that I don't work my way around to get filthy brake dust all over the clean side that I've already detailed. So next you'll reach for a smaller wheel woolly to get in those hard to reach areas. This brush is great for getting behind the caliper here where there's not a lot of clearance between the barrel of the rim and the caliper itself. Also right here on the inside of the spoke, these things come to a narrow point. This gives a great brush for detailing in there, taking off all that brake dust and road debris and all that filth. What's the line, Phil? Fly, you bozo. You can't fly on water unless you have power. I'm great. How you guys doing? How are you guys at home doing? Good. So for the really small and tight areas, you want to grab your last smallest wheel woolly. This is great for getting between the lug nuts in here, cleaning out all that road filth and brake dust. So next, to clean the face of the rim, you want to grab a soft brush. This is the green flag tip brush. It's great for cleaning off the face of any kind of rim. Super soft or won't scratch, but it still has enough power to clean off all that filth and debris. And lastly, we're going to clean the tire off using a stiff brush. This is the Stiffy Blue brush. It's great for cleaning off any kind of brown filth that's all over the tire, bring back that natural look. So now you've seen the techniques and the tips of how to thoroughly clean your rims. I'm going to finish the other three and then we're going to get started on the foaming. So now it's time for what we've all been waiting for. It's time to foam. I've got my two buckets set up here, one for clean water and then one for rinsing off my mitt. I've also got my torque foam cannon here set up with a little bit of VO7. I'm gonna go ahead and hook this up to my pressure washer in just a bit, just to give you a little rundown. I've got one bucket set up here. I'll put one dirt trap in there. This is to wring out all that dirty water, keep it nice and clean inside here. And then I'll add my soap to this one. And then this will be my wringing out bucket. I'll put an extra dirt trap in here just to keep as much impurities out of the water as I can. Then I'll add my soap to this bucket over here. Just a couple ounces of VO7 to add more foam to the whole process. So now the buckets are ready to go. I'm just gonna go ahead and rinse off all the loose dirt off the vehicle, and then it's also gonna rinse down any of that extra filth. So traditionally we use a Chanel wash mitt like this one. It's a traditional wash mitt hand size. But for this car, we're gonna go with something a little bit better, a little bit bigger. This is the new Chemical Guys Mofo wash mitt. It's obviously a lot larger than the original size. It's actually twice as big. The Chanels are longer and it's much softer, so it'll trap more foam, adding more lubrication while you're washing. So now that you've foamed and rinsed off your car, it's time to dry it. To help me dry this black car and also give it some more shine, I'm going to use VO7 as a drying aid. You simply spray it on, and what this is doing is it's breaking the surface tension between the actual paint and these water drops so they don't leave water spots. And now using a thick, soft drying towel like a woolly mammoth, I'm just going to go ahead and do straight lines across the body, picking up as much water as I can. Revealing a high shine underneath. No water spots and no contaminants either. So moving right along with this detail, it's time to glaze this black Mustang. I'm going to be using Black Light, which is a part of the black car kit. Basically what that does is it fills in micro scratches, imperfections, and it also restores that black high shine. You can use it by machine or by hand. I'll give you a little demonstration of how to do it by hand, but I'll be doing the rest of the vehicle with the machine just because it's faster, and it'll spread the product much thinner. So you take your applicator, add a few drops to it. So first, you'll dab it out on the area you'll be working on. And then in straight, even strokes, you'll just spread it out in a thin, even layer. The thinner the better, because you're only going to be using the first layer of the product. Everything else is just being wiped away. So it's more productive just to make a thin, even coat. That way you're not wasting too much product. So now, since I showed you how to do it by hand, I'm going to go and switch over to the machine because forget doing this by hand. So just like I did before with the hand applicator, you're going to want to dab it out over the surface you'll be working on and then spread it out evenly. With the machine, you want to do it on the lowest speed setting just because you're not polishing, you're not cutting, all you're doing is just applying. So this is the black Hexlogic pad, which is just like the Hexlogic pad that comes in the kit, only the difference is that this one goes on a machine instead of doing it by hand. So I'll start it up on the lowest speed setting and just spread it out. So now that we've let the black light sit here for about 20 minutes and it's properly bonded to the surface, I'm going to go ahead and take a clean microfiber towel and start buffing it off. Now it's important that you don't do any circles or swirls, just back and forth in straight lines, even strokes, and nicely, gently wipe it off the surface. So lastly, you want to wax your vehicle. This car has been prepped by washing it. It didn't need to be clayed because the surface is actually pretty smooth. We glaze it, and now it's time to wax it. And I'll be using the butter wet wax. It'll give it a high shine and a lot of durability against water spots, dirt, repellent, and UV rays. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing that with the machine just so I can save some time and some effort. So in the same manner that you put the glaze on, you can do it by hand or machine. I chose to go with the machine here. All you're going to do is take your product, add a few drops to it to your pad, and then blotch it out over the surface that you'll be working on, starting with the hood here. And then on the slowest speed setting, you're just going to spread out the product in even strokes. So butter wet wax can be taken off immediately, or you can let it sit for 15 minutes. I let it sit for just a couple, and I'm going to go ahead and take it off just so I can see that high shine underneath this coat of wax. So now that your car looks amazing, it's all down to maintenance. A great way to take care of light dust, fingerprints, bird droppings is by using a quick detailer, such as Hybrid V7. All you have to do is spray it on the surface, and then with your favorite microfiber towel, just wipe it off. It's leaving behind a high shine, sealant for paint protection, and it's taking care of all of that light dust and debris. So we've just finished the detail on this Mustang. It's been an amazing day here. This car came in filthy, and as you can see, like, this car has got an amazing shine now. So if you want more about these products, check it out on our website, chemicalguys.com. If you like this video or this car, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.